नमस्ते, मैं आपका डॉक्टर श्रीनिवास राव डेक्कन एक्सोटिक्स से। आज हम हैं साउथ अफ्रीका में। यहाँ पे मैकेडेमिया इंडस्ट्री जो एक नया नट है उसके बारे में, उसके जो फ़ायदे हैं और उसको कैसे पैदा कर सकते हैं, उसको कैसे उसको कल्टीवेशन का प्रैक्टिसेस क्या है, ये सारे अभी हम जानेंगे। जो प्रोफेशनल ग्रोअर्स है वो है एमोरेंशिया कंपनी। वो पिछले 50 साल से मैकेडेमिया साउथ अफ्रीका में वो काम कर रहे हैं और इनका बहुत ही बड़ा काम है। और उन्हीं के बातों में अभी हम जानेंगे कि मैकेडेमिया क्या है और उसका जो मार्केट इंडिया में जो बढ़ने वाली है और उनका जो प्रोजेक्शंस है, और मैकेडेमिया का जो वैरायटीज़ या उसके जो कल्टीवेशन प्रैक्टिसेस है उसके बारे में एक ओवरव्यू इनके साथ अभी हम लेंगे। कैन यू प्लीज let our viewers know what is your name, what you do? Can you please tell viewers?
Hi, namaste. So my name is Lauren, and I grew up on this farm in the Politsi Valley. It's in the Limpopo province of South Africa.
So when did macadamias make an entry into South Africa?
It was in the 70s, the early 70s. 1972 is when we say our macadamia nursery was established.
1972. I
Yes.
think it's almost 50 years
It's
now.
over 50 years
Over 50
now.
years now.
Yes, yeah.
And I think you were the first growers of macadamia in South Africa.
One of the first.
One of the first.
Yes, there were some
And,
other growers at
yeah.
the same time.
How did just want to briefly know about the industry? How big is the industry in South Africa? How are macadamias? How big area it is being grown currently?
Yes.
The macadamia plantations is around 80,000 hectares that South Africa has planted, with a production of about 95,000 tons, exported mainly to China. There's alternative kernel markets heading towards Japan and America, but by far the majority of our harvest is channeled to nut in shell, China.
Can you briefly give about yourself, introduction about yourself?
Of course. Hi, I'm Cornel. I've been working at Amorencia for the past 2 years now as their nursery manager.
Okay. So how did the macadamia industry, I think it's around 80,000 hectares, change the economy of the farmers here? Was it easy to grow, or were they making money?
Yes, no, there was a huge shift economic-wise in South Africa, especially in established areas which were predominantly sugarcane. And as the sugarcane prices went down and as the market bottlenecked in the sugarcane industry, there was alternatives created through macadamias that could have been established in the orchards, which was a sigh of relief for most farmers that there was alternatives to.
Past few days I've been traveling in South Africa,
Yes.
looking at the farmers, meeting farmers, and in the hot regions areas. And I was keen to know that macadamia plant requires minimal maintenance. It's very hardy, it's drought tolerant. I think it's very suitable for our climatic conditions in India as well. So, how do you see farmers? Is it hard work behind it, or it's very relaxed kind of farming we can with very less maintenance?
think-
It's easier.
I think it's low maintenance compared to maybe something like avocados, but I think it's important to know that if you want to achieve the quality of a good crackout and high quality kernel, it needs to be approached with a commercial mindset.
Yeah, Mr. Cornell, I think we were visiting the hot area farmers, right?
That's
I think the farmers were giving irrigation approximately 20 liter per plant on a daily basis during flowering time. So I don't think it's a big quantity. 20 liters is a basic amount.
So just to give a broader perspective, macadamias do prefer subtropical climates similar to Tanin and Intanin, which would be going from a cold subtropical to a warm subtropical climate. But because macadamias are much more forgivable crop then compared to avocados, it can be planted in marginal soils, which would be your arid climates.
Yeah.
Given that moisture, humidity, and water is in abundance, it can be planted in hotter areas.
So you're speaking about the conditions, right? So extreme hot climatic conditions what is the most suitable climatic conditions, and what are the varieties suitable which can also be grown in the harsh climatic conditions? So what is a wide range of temperatures where these plants can grow?
These plants can, as I mentioned, can from cool subtropical climates up until extreme arid conditions. Extreme arid conditions, I refer to high humidity levels. We're looking at 70% humidity, also depending on the time of day. But we're looking at an average of 50, 60, 70% humidity with abundance of water. And then if the degree Celsius reaches maybe 45 for an extended period of, let's say, 3 weeks, that is considered extreme arid conditions for macadamias.
The ideal temperatures are below 40, but the extreme conditions can in India can go up to 45, 46
Even
also.
in some regions,
Yeah. So was it difficult to grow macadamias in that locations with right knowledge?
I think, and that is the question that you say, with the right knowledge is the key. There has been farmers planting and confirming that it's not possible, but it all depends on the proper preparation before planting a tree. If that proper preparation, if you have making sure there's sufficient amount of water, that your soil preparation is right, that your organic matter, land preparation and the organic matter in the soil
and
is
soil
sufficient.
corrective measures if necessary.
If that foundation is solid, then yes, you will be successful with macadamia.
So what is the water requirement in short, approximately per week or per cultivar, or is it any dependent on cultivar, or is it dependent only on the temperature, soil, moisture? That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't break it down to cultivars.
No,
I won't break it down.
There's no changes in different cultivars. It's the same for everything.
Not significant.
But
changes.
only difference between the temperatures, moisture holding in the soil.
And altitude is also something that one needs to consider. But yeah, I would say down to the region, down to your climate. you would have to adapt.
Okay. So would you recommend because it's in India, it's a common practice that people use flood irrigation for irrigating macadamias, or for example, or any other plants, let us say coconuts or mangoes. We do not use drip lines.
How do you do avocados?
So avocados, we mandatory made it that drip irrigation is the best. So is it similar? Micro irrigation
or drip? Micro or drip.
So is it similar with macadamias as well?
Yes.
No. The same irrigation principles with avocados.
Very similar.
Same
even similar water requirements to avocados. Very similar.
So coming to number of plants per acre. So what is the common practice? How many plants do you plant per hectare? That's 2.5 acres is equal to 1 hectare. So what is a common practice, or what is the spacing between plants commonly followed in South Africa?
Most common followed planting spacing or density is a 4 by 8 meters, 8 being in between the rows and the 4 meters being in between the trees.
Comes down to 312 and a half trees.
And a half trees. That is the
per
most
hectare.
common per hectare. That is the most common, well-known spacing that has been proven to work. There is a movement towards higher densities. Higher densities meaning anything from 7 to 2 to 7 to 3 meters being a higher density.
6 by 3.5,
or even
and some
6 by
cultivars
3.5.
is also
Dependent from farmer to farmer.
Farmer to farmer. 6 meter by 3.5 meters, or 7 meter by 2 meters, or 7 by 3 meters.
Understanding that your tree maintenance, your pruning and your training will be more intense at a higher density.